for prayers. They marched on north, the elf blood froze. The peppermint fields now lined with woes.
Jack-o'-lantern lit the spark.
A pumpkin grin, a scheme so dark.
It was the lies of endless snow.
If Christmas ends, you'll never go. Tinsel torn, the stockings burned, the
There's your bus, screaming flies, haggled lies at the lights. Every night you fight, pick a side, vivid sights, baby show, and an escapade. Fancy arcade, pixelated pouring lesson, they unafraid. Karaoke screams, singing themes, heart and sleeves. Anime dreams, bursting seams, city gleams, dancing screams, endless streams, life's extreme, Saturday gleams. So it's day gleams, so it seems nothing reams. Raise the channel, riot loud, crowd unbowed, techno sound, pulses pound, dream astound, youth unbound, joy profound, I'm lost and found. Channel raver on the prowl, echoes howled.
Saturday morning, check. Sun's out, check. Sky's blue, check. Christmas pajamas on, check. It's the oggm broadcasting live from Site B, located in the holiday center that is Fresno, Nevada. Don't forget to check out our outlet malls, where we have all the Seth's gear and ammo supplies marked down for the holidays. Yeah. By the way, Fresno, Nevada is not a real place. And I'm not a real person. It's Saturday. It's time to shout out some channels, time to spread some holiday cheer, try to help some YouTubers, make some new friends, just whatever, just spread a little holiday kindness. Hello to each and every one of you. Hello to the 6 of you who've decided to jump on. Hopefully you're all real people and not Christmas bots. But if you are Christmas bots, I, for one, appreciate you. So yeah, Saturday, holidays, cartoons, breakfast cereal, new, fun, wonderful people to shout out. Let's go, as they say in the comic books. Hopefully you are all safe and warm this Saturday. Can you believe we've done 97 of these? 97. And I think there was some more before we moved, but they're hidden in the interweb somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, 97. Thank you, as always, Jeff Gamesbox, for all the wonderful links. If you have a free moment, use the link down below to give Jeff Gamesbox a subscribe. My Christmas presents to him is that hopefully he will reach 1,000 subs soon before, I don't know, the world ends in 5 billion years or whatever. So please help Jeff, help me, help Jess. This is Jes The Human. Hello, Jes The Human. You have 1.19K subscribers, 383 videos. Now you've got, bam! Brand new subscriber. Jes The Human does D&D live plays and interviews and some how to give psychic damage, how-to types of things, generally D&D centric, but they donate a lot of money to charity. Jess wants to be referred to as them, they, them, theirs. I always felt weird calling a single person theirs or them, but if I had to pick a pronoun, them would be on my list, because that way whenever anybody sees me, they could point at me and go, them. And if you know what movie I'm talking about, you would think that's funny. Otherwise, yeah, all right. Let's see what Jess says. She raised 450 raised for charity through tabletop context since 2021. Expense monthly tabletop role-playing game charity streams, tutorials, and other tabletop-related content. Jes The Human has been doing this since 2021, as opposed to, say, Jess the Peanut Butter and Jelly Sandwich. Possibly interviewing Jess the Peanut Butter and Jelly Sandwich would be far more interesting. But Jes The Human, we want you to know how much we appreciate you taking your tabletop role-playing game creativity, throwing it out there on the interweb, and trying to earn some money for charity. Talk about the Christmas joy. Yeah, this is what it's all about, guys. Somebody who's using her YouTube to make the world a better place. At least that's what we want to think. I'm sure some of the cynical of you were probably thinking, oh, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. She lent the money. Oh, they use pronouns, so they're blah, 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 pink-haired liberal, blah, 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 blah. But that's not what this channel's about. If you're somebody who's looking for that kind of content, there are several other people out there who do the poop on people content. My Saturdays are dedicated to trying to spread a little joy, trying to make the internet a little better place, trying to get back to what tabletop role-playing game is all about, a bunch of idiots sitting around a table playing goblins with sticks. And if I make a few friends, great. If Jes The Human decides to come over and subscribe to my channel, great. If maybe Jes The Human one day says, hey, I'd love to talk to you on my channel or have me on your channel, oggm, great. But really, remember, as always, the reason why we started this was because we saw a very famous VTuber do the same thing. And we said, you know what? Wouldn't it be nice if our channel was dedicated to trying to make the tabletop role-playing game positive again? So thank you, Jes, for showing that there's a little human kindness still left in the world of tabletop role-playing games. Yeah, moving on. If I can get the thing to work. 8 of you. How are you, guys? Badam. Inkwell Ideas. Inkwell Ideas has 1.81k subscribers, 126 videos. Bam! And Inkwell has no information, but they joined in 2017. And the last time they published was 2 weeks ago, doing an Isle of Dread in some type of world grapher. World grapher looks like one of those online-y map-making thingies. But they're doing Isle of Dread, which, as you know, is one of my favorite settings. Isle of Dread, of course, grew up to become Tomb of Annihilation. This setting, I love dinosaur pirate jungle island with hidden alien secrets. Isle of Dread is a great hex crawl that doesn't get as much love as some of the other ones do. It's an island. It's a jungle. It's got dinosaurs. It's got lost civilizations. It's got you trying to survive against the aliens and the weather and weird tribes and just general fun, jungly, Sinbad-y fun. What could be more D&D than that? So they're redrawing it using this map making program. They also talk about hexploration decks. So here they're reviewing map making. Here's some more map making. Map making, map making, map making, map making, map making, map making, map making. All right, so Inkwell Ideas does map making. Awesome. That's awesome. I wish I was talented enough to do this. But I'm not, which is fine. My talent relies elsewhere, usually just annoying people. But there's people out there who are creative enough that they can do this, and I appreciate them. Part of me is jealous and hates them, but that's okay. Because it just inspires me to get better with my map making, right? Or at least in my ability to find better maps online and use them for my game. But thanks for making this site get a little love for world grographer. Did you work on this site? Is it something that you created, or is it just something that you found online and are playing with? So a lot of map making, a lot of hex crawl ideas. We love that. Thank you, Inkwell, for helping us be more creative and stuff like that. Who doesn't love maps? I love D&D maps. I love maps. I love LAMP. OGGM, are you just saying you love LAMP? No, I love LAMP. All right, here we have Nat Happens, RPG horror stories 3 times a week. I was, gotta admit, Nat Happens has 182 subscribers, 82 videos. Bam! Theater of the Mindless D&D. They've been doing this year. So they've jumped on the role-playing horror stories. And they've found several horror stories to talk about. This one was iffy because there's 2 ways to approach the RPG horror story. There's the way our friend Daniel does it over at Driving and Dragons, where he sort of, is sarcastically funny about it. He's pointing out that even at the best of times, we all make mistakes, and those mistakes can sometimes lead to horror stories or just us being goofballs, right? And that's okay. I mean, I don't 100% agree with the way Daniel does it, but I agree with his idea of sarcastically just, saying, hey, it's okay, you're human, you made a mistake, you did something silly, we're going to point it out, but it's all in good fun. So that's one way to do RPG horror stories. And if you're going to do RPG horror stories, that's the way I prefer it. Then the other way to do RPG horror stories is just basically tear people apart and point out how awful they are and sort of have this, condescending Canadian carrion eater, fuck you style. You're stupid because you did that. So We don't like that style. If we're going to do RPG or stories, do it sarcastically, do it fun, doing it, such a way that people understand that we love this hobby. We're passionate about this hobby, but we're still humans, and humans do silly, ridiculous, sometimes stupid, sometimes self-destructive things. And that's something you can either make fun of and help people laugh at themselves and realize at the end of the day that this is a silly game about goblins with sticks, or you can use that platform to make people feel bad about themselves and just sort of poke holes in everything that's wrong with the hobby and prove, the theory that the OSR is trash, or the woke is trash, or the conservative players are trash. And we don't want that. So hopefully, without looking at any of the videos, we want to think that this person is doing the same thing that Daniel does or I does. So that happens. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Thank you for helping us poke fun at ourselves. And remember that at the end of the day, it's just a silly game, and we do silly things. And that's important to remember, that we're silly. Bam! Roll Initiative. 448 subscribers, 76 videos. And Roll Initiative says, I'm a dungeon master looking to share what I've learned. Everything from DM advice to creative tools to practical tips and advice to help players and fellow DMs level up their game. Blah, 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 blah. Whether you're a new player making your very first character sheet or dungeon master crafting epic stories, I don't know why I chose this voice. Behind the scene, there's something here for you. So grab your dice, prep your spell slots, referencing spell slots, and hit the subscriber button. And they have been doing this since 2025, and they've already hit 448 subscribers. Way to go, dude. And they're doing DM advice. The last time they published was 3 weeks ago, and they're talking about DM advice. 5 things new players should know: how to play the game, how to communicate, role-playing tips for shy players. Ooh, that's a tough one. 4 seasons. All right, so D&D advice, some computer animation, just looking pretty cool. Did you draw that yourselves? Because if you did, that's awesome. What's one bit of DM advice you could share with somebody if you had some that you think, is important? Publish down below. Let me know. My favorite, I've got give pointless D&D advice all the time. Probably my, best advice I can give is, remember, it's a game. Start small. Don't get locked into the idea that something has to happen. And I've been guilty of that too, more than once, where you just get so locked in as a DM or a player that something has to go a specific way, that when things don't, you become very, very just, hostile. And you want to force them to do things the way you want it to do. No, you have to go to this church to get the MacGuffin. Stop wandering away from the church. So that's probably the best advice I could give is, and I just had this discussion the day before yesterday with one of my online friends. If they're not going where they're supposed to go, just move where they're supposed to go to where they're going, right? You need them to go to the church to get the MacGuffin. They're not going to the church to get the MacGuffin. Move the church, move the encounter, rewrite it, give yourself the ability to improvise. That's probably the best advice I can give you, other than start small, run dungeons. And remember, again, it's a silly game. And yeah, it's okay to have fun. And just remember that it's dumb. So thank you, Roll Initiative, for sharing some DM advice. Congratulations on getting to so many subs and only on being here for a year. Look forward to watching you grow. Oh, look, here's those super expensive metal dice. I'd be afraid of these. I'd be afraid I'd break them. But I suppose they're super tough or whatever. I don't know. I'm afraid of the damage they do to a table. God. Those are like the dice your mom would never let you roll off the table if you're playing in your house, because you'd just be afraid the metal would scratch up the linoleum, right? Or am I the only one who thinks these things? I'm probably the only one who thinks these things. All right, we have D&D Blender. D&D Blender has 792 subscribers, has made 1K videos, and they say, when you throw everything in and hit puree, am I saying that wrong? 2019 was the day they started, and apparently they're a Blender. Wow, a Blender posting tabletop role-playing game stuff. Blenders don't even have hands, so that's amazing, Blender, that you could do this. And they have this picture of the dice in the blender. Ooh, not that I don't believe dice should occasionally be punished, but I think that would be just really mess up your blender to put the dice in there. There's better ways to publish your dice if they don't roll the way you want them to. I used to put them in a fish tank, make the other ones watch the dice drown. There you go. All right. So the last time they published was 4 weeks ago. This person looks familiar. Have we met, sir? Do you live in California? You look familiar. And they're talking about Hero Forge. There's a word we haven't heard in a long time. What's going on with Hero Forge? If you're not familiar with Hero Forge, that's that sort of half board game, half role-playing game. It comes with a map. It comes with some of the really cool figures and these 3D things of like, you know, doors and stuff. And it comes with scenarios, and you play out the scenario. You lay the map out according to the scenario, and your characters go through it. But it's still sort of a board game, but your characters can collect things. They can level up, and there's an ever-changing supply of scenarios that you can go through. And yeah, so Hero Forge is cool. I haven't heard it or seen it in a long time. I think, is that a Hasbro? Doesn't Hasbro? Did Hasbro? Who knows? Who cares? If Hasbro owns it, that sucks. But yeah. Are we doing some live play? Some live play? Here's some Spelljammer live play. Why become a DM? Because I don't know. More live play or solo play. It looks like solo play of video games. So yeah, here's them going through the old Spelljammer role-playing game, a computer game. Here's them looking at some maps, doing a lot of computer stuff. Here's another live play of Star Trek. Bum, 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 bum. And here's dice in a blender. And this individual looks familiar. Yeah. Maybe we've met. I don't know. Weirdly enough, the tabletop role-playing community, despite being all over the world, is a relative... comment! Did you hear the rumor about Tanker's Tavern rumor of 6e being a return to AD&D? No, I have not heard that rumor yet. That would be the topic for a different video. I had this conversation yesterday. Was it yesterday with Diversity and Dragons about what would I do if I owned D&D? The question would be then, would I want there to be a 7th edition? Because 24 D&D is the 6th edition. When would that edition come out? Would it be in June 2027? D&D 6X? Because that would be weird. Would we want Wizards of the Coast to redo AD&D? And would we buy it? Would we forgive them for the past 10 years and give them another chance? Or if you're like me, where you're just like, I don't need you, Wizards of the Coast, because there's 500 other open source OGL, OSR, D20 level-based fantasy retro clones out there that do the exact same job better without the weird politics. So that's a topic for a separate video, which maybe we'll do. But no, I haven't heard that. I'll have to watch the video and see about it. Thanks for letting me know, Nick. Yeah, cool. Thanks, D&D Blender, for being awesome and making awesome stuff. Thanks to each and every one of you for taking time out of your Saturday morning to sit with us. Thank you, Jeff's Game Box, for supplying us with all the links. I don't know if we could have gone this long without all the links that Jeff Games Box gives us every day. So yeah, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you and appreciate the links. And of course, because it's Christmas and because we're all filled with good cheer, the original idea, as you know, came to us from one of our favorite VTubers, Ironmouse and Zentrea. Our toaster overlord Zentrea is having a tough year, so a little love out to Zen, and always much love and support. And just thank you, Ironmouse. Thank you for creating the idea of raiding other channels and trying to prop up the video community instead of banging them down. That's why we do this, right? To try and make the tabletop role-playing game world a little better place. Till next time, I'm the oggm. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about this ever again, let me know. If you want to support the oggm, you could use the links in the description to go to drive-thru and pick up my product. All my Shadowdark adventures and campaign settings are marked down for the holidays. Pay what you want. So toss me a nickel, toss me $700, whatever you have, get some cool product, support the oggm, make, So have some fun. And if you can't do that, you know, because we know it's the holidays and monies are tight this year, you can always just take a moment to like, to share, to subscribe, to spread a little holiday joy on your own. And if you have a free second, go to Jeff's Games Box and give our friend a subscribe. Let's help him hit 1,000 subs. Till next time, happy holidays, Scrooges.
Electric beats, bustle streets, endless streets, midnight beats, living heat, hearts beat, fleet, polyphonic meets, cyber beats, rhythm sweet, Saturday schemes, beat retreats, makes us complete. Blazing trails, no fails, neon veils, names of gales, color tales, joy sales, endless rails, like a veil, Saturday sale, we hail breaking jails. Break the tail, riot loud.